So as far as custom reports, one of the other powerful tools that we have within Pixel is using the filters. So the filters are available in the top, and all of these on the left are different things you can filter on. So as you can see, there's policy specific, things like coverage amounts, endorsements and deductibles, geography, things having to do with the physical location of the risk, dwelling particular attributes, which are going to be associated with the house that is on the property, and then also various WinMIT specific things. This might not necessarily be applicable to all states, but this is one category that we have for Florida in particular. And then this other category, which includes your BSEG and your credit and some other rating attributes. So let's say, for example, we want to go through and only look at particular construction types. So that would be on our dwelling, and let's just look at frame. And then in addition, let's focus on only the $1,000 AOP deductibles. So as I've clicked these two, now and initially we didn't have any filters selected, so we had 342,000 included policies. As we've only selected the combination of frame and AOP deductibles equaling $1,000, that's going to drop down the number of risks significantly. So see, we're down to 55,000 now. And then if you ever want to go make sure and see what filters you have, there's always that filter summary again. So here, again, we've got our primary and secondary carriers. The two new things since we added those filters is the AOP deductible and the construction equals frame. And then you can also, if you happen to look at this type of view and look to one of the filters that you've selected to filter on, it'll only show the ones that you have selected. So you'll also notice that this now has a little warning that says unsaved dashboard story. So we have two options here. We can either save over the existing story, or we can save as and make a new story talking about the particular filters that we now have on this subset. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll call it Florida Market Baskets. And then for the description, we'll use, this is actually going to be just the frame and AOP 1000. And we'll save that. Okay, so now that we've filtered that down, it goes through, and again, all of the tabs now only reflect that. So you can see these numbers changed a bit. So Cyprus is down to 89% when before it was at 92%. And your average premium chart, and again, it really applies to every single tab where it'll have the filtered policies. So let's suppose you've got this subset that you want to decide how we can better target these frame and AOP $100,000 deductible variables. One way that you could try and figure out what's driving the price difference is to go through and select each of the different carriers on the carrier by variable, see if it looks like it was significant. But that could be pretty tedious and not very interesting work, and not to mention quite challenging. So instead, we actually have some decision trees built into Pixel, which are on the segmentation tab. So we'll go over here. So here we've been looking at averages, so we'll look at the dollar difference to average. So the very basic level, we'll just select calculate to see what is driving the dollar difference to the average premium for Citizens compared to all of the competitors. So on average, Citizens is $267 below the average. The biggest drivers that popped out here were insurance score year built roof, year built, followed by coverage A. And as you can see, the dollar amounts get pretty significant in the different areas. This follows the same coloring scheme as the other ones, as the other tabs, where everything that's green to darker green is going to be negative, and then it'll vary based on how severe it is. And then going up to the top, it'll go up to red, to the highest combination. So as you can see here, the insurance score is the biggest difference in that lower insurance scores generally were like the Citizens premium is $500 below, compared to, for better insurance scores, they're only $100 below. That's likely because Citizens doesn't rate on credit or insurance score, and most of the other carriers that are loaded do. So the other, and then you can see for these other ones, there's year built. The year built split is actually the same in both trees here, where it's 2010. So 2009 is going to be underpriced by 700 versus newer is going to be 290. And then same here, 240 versus $88 above. If we wanted to look at some of the details of each of these terminal nodes, that's also available below this in the table output. So this shows all the details of those terminal nodes, showing what the total count of each of the groups of policies are in each of those, and then what all those final splits are. So this would be insurance score below 700, year built roof below 2010, less than 2010, and coverage A above $218,000. And then it'll show you what the dollar difference amount is and a few other summary details there. This is another example where you can export out into an Excel file. And again, there's all the details of the terminal node, how many risks are in each one, what percentage of the risk, what percentage of the total distribution was there, and then the average and median and what the differences were. So now that we've seen that insurance score and year built are pretty important, we can actually return back to the buy rating variable tab and dig into those a little bit more. This will give us even more data of how big of a spread that is across the different groups, and then how much our premiums are different than what the market is.